throughout my years of doing taxes, I realized that it is a lot of tax offices. And when I say it's a lot of tax offices, it's a lot of tax offices out here. And when I say that, I say that in terms of people have their own tax clients with their own tax business names, such as such, ABC tax, whatever your tax office name is. I see so many tax offices. However, what I don't see is, I don't see a lot of actual EROs, meaning anybody can make up a name and create a tax office name and say, hey, I'm gonna call myself the tax lady, the tax queen, Betty's taxes, whatever you call your tax business. But a lot of people do not have what you call an EFIN. And without an EFIN, realistically, you don't technically have your own tax office. You are not your own ERO. And unless you're, and we're just talking about specifically if you are e-filing returns and you're a paid preparer. If you're not a paid preparer, meaning you're filing tax returns through TurboTax or something like that, everything I'm saying does not apply to you. However, if you want to take this information so you can transition from preparing returns through things like TurboTax or online consumer-based sites like, TaxSlayer, and you can start actually being paid for your tax returns and be able to take your preparation fees out of people's refunds, then this presentation is for you, because it will show you how to transition into becoming a paid preparer as an ERO. Now, if you've already been filing taxes and you do not have an EFIN, then this presentation is really for you, because a lot of people think that I have my own tax office, I have my own clients, I file taxes. Yes, that's great. But if you do not have an EFIN, then that means that you are technically not your own tax office and you're working underneath somebody else's EFIN. And we're going to get into the details of the pros and cons of that. So basically, what is an EFIN? An EFIN is an electronic filing identification number. And basically what that is, I'm trying to move my own self out the way because I don't know. Well, I guess you can't see it. I guess I'm blocked. You know, once it's blocked. So basically, an EFIN is a number that is issued by the IRS to say that you're an approved and authorized, keyword authorized. Authorized means you certified, you legit, and you are doing things with permission. You are an authorized e-file provider. And what that means is, a lot of people say, oh, I have that. An EFIN is something different than a PTIN. There are two different types of numbers. A lot of preparers have a PTIN, and a PTIN is a preparer tax identification number. It's free. It's been free since last year. You were able to get it online at irs.gov. It's renewed annually. Because you have a PTIN, and at the bottom of the tax returns you prepare, it's a number that's P01666 something, whatever it is that's uniquely for you, does not mean you have an EFIN. So please, they are not the same. Don't get it twisted. Do not think that, okay, because you have a PTIN, that automatically means you have an EFIN. A lot of tax preparers, and I'm saying this because a lot of tax preparers, and I come across this a lot, and that was the whole purpose of me making the webinar, they assume that because they have a PTIN, they went online, they applied and got this preparer tax identification number, that means, and they have their own tax office, their own name, that they are their own EROs. And this is the point to clarify that. So as an ERO, you need to have both. So you need to have both an EFIN and a PTIN. A PTIN is simply a number that says that, hey, you are identifying that I, John Doe, prepared this tax return. So it's just basically your signature. It's like your signature on the bottom of people's tax return, as far as track how many specific returns that you as an individual prepared. Now, as an ERO, an EFIN holder, that is almost like your firm's number. For instance, let me just try to give it into a very simplistic example. And if this presentation is real simplistic, hey, use it, apply to somebody else. But if it can help you, then great. Because some people are like, this is real simplistic. You will be amazed by how many people are really confused between the two. So basically, if you have an EFIN, that means, in essence, you are the tax office owner, meaning you can call yourself whatever, and when you go look up in the IRS system, you, the EFIN holder, is an authorized e-file provider. Now, as an EFIN holder, you can have as many PTINs working up underneath you as you please. And these people can work underneath you as your employees, your contractors, or as I would say franchisees, which we'll go to in a little bit later. So basically, if I am Right Way Tax, so I am the EFIN holder. I own that. That EFIN is assigned to my company's name. Someone else can, some people have their EFINs assigned to their personal names, however you want to do it, but mine in particular is assigned to my LLC's name. I'm gonna go ahead and click over. So go to the next slide. Okay, so common misconceptions and myths about EFINs. A lot of people are working for tax offices. Some of you are working for a tax office as a contractor, meaning you have been working for tax offices for years. Some people go work for H&R Block, Liberty, Jackson Hewitt, and you become an employee and you get a PTIN. You don't have an EFIN, you're an employee working for them with a PTIN. Now, a lot of people are working for their own tax offices, or they're working underneath or working with another tax office, and they know they don't have an EFIN. So a lot of people know they don't have an EFIN, but a lot of people do not know that an EFIN is fairly easy to get. So let me try to retract a little bit so I can be very clear. You've been working at a tax office with somebody, whether you're their partner, their contractor, but you know yourself, you are not the tax office owner. And you know, hey, I'm just working for this person. I have a PTIN and I'm just working for this person. And a lot of times these contractors or employees for these companies, you know, they look at as being a tax office owner as something hard to obtain. And a lot of myths have been put out there about EFINs that I've heard. And I've just compiled some of my top 3 that I've heard from consulting with different tax preparers as to, hey, why don't you have your own EFIN? You know how to do taxes, you have your own clientele, you work really, really well, you know how to market, you have your own name, so why don't you have your own EFIN? And these were the common things I was hearing. And one was, they said, okay, well, I have to have good credit, meaning my credit's not good enough to apply to be an IRS authorized e-file provider. So with that being said, I'm here to tell you that is false. You do not have to have good credit to get your own EFIN, okay? I don't care if you don't have no credit or you in the 320s. You do not have to have good credit. The IRS does not check your credit score when you fill out in e-file application, the e-services application. Second, getting an EFIN is not expensive. I heard a lot of tax preparers talking about, well, I have to have a certain amount of money in reserve so I could be able to qualify for the bank products, and I could be able to qualify for this, and I could be able to qualify for that. That's not true either. When you fill out an EFIN application with e-services, they will not ask you what your assets are, what your liabilities are, how much money you got saved up in the bank. They don't even care if you have insurance or you're bonded. So having money, the only thing you need to do is have that fingerprint fee money to be able to get yourself fingerprinted. But other than that, you don't need to have no type of reserves or some type of significant amount of money to be able to purchase or get an EFIN. An EFIN is inexpensive to get, okay? It costs little to nothing to get an EFIN. It's not free like a PTIN, which is completely free, but the amount of money that it costs to get the little things you need to get to apply for your EFIN, yeah, you're talking about very significantly low cost here. Another thing is you do not need special qualifications or credentials to get an EFIN. A lot of people have been told by people that they work underneath that, yeah, you gotta have this, you gotta have a degree, you have to have XYZ years in the tax industry. You may have never filed an entire tax return in your entire life, but you can still get an EFIN. So do not think you have to have some type of formal education or you have to have some type of years and years of tax experience. Now, trust me, before you start preparing people's tax returns, you need to have some experience, some coaching, some training. But just to get your own EFIN, no, you do not have to have any special qualifications or credentials. Lastly, only thing that is not on this list that I do want to hit on, the only thing that should stop anyone from ever being able to get their own EFIN besides not credit, not money, or some type of special education, is your criminal record. The IRS does make certain criminal offenses ineligible to be able to hold an EFIN. So basically anything, if you have any type of criminal offenses that are felonies, things that are dealing with fraud or any type of theft and things of that nature, or any type of felony or even misdemeanors dealing with theft and fraud, then you will possibly be disbarred, or I wouldn't say disbarred, not eligible to be able to get an EFIN, but I would still go through the application process and let them determine that. Don't just write off your criminal record and say, oh, I got a Class C misdemeanor speeding ticket. They knocked this to approve me. Go ahead and fill out the EFIN application. Don't let them run your criminal history and see if you are eligible or ineligible based off of that. Don't just write yourself off. So the benefits of having your own EFIN, and please put your questions in the question section if you have any specific questions. As I'm going, I will be trying to go back and hint on certain things, so that way everyone, if you do have anything specific to your situation that I did not hint on, like if you have your own special circumstance and you watched the webinar for a reason that I didn't get to answer, please put it in the question section so I can make sure I double back and retract on that, and comment on that. So with that being said, benefits of having your own EFIN. Well, first and foremost, you having your own EFIN means you're your own tax office. You're not working underneath anybody. So one, you cannot e-file without an EFIN. So a lot of people, unless you're doing taxes through TurboTax or somewhere and you're doing taxes technically off the grid and getting paid on the side or however that people do that, you cannot e-file without an EFIN, meaning you have to have an EFIN to be able to e-file tax returns. So whatever tax preparation software you are using that's professional grade, there is an EFIN number attached to that, because an EFIN is the only thing that can transmit electronic returns to the IRS. So don't be like, well, I don't need an EFIN. If you say that and you preparing taxes outside of Turbo, then you need an additional video to this, because your mind's somewhere way else. But you need an EFIN to be able to e-file. Secondly, until you receive your own EFIN, you are using someone else's. You work underneath their EFIN as either an employee, contractor, or franchisee. A lot of people sign up to work with tax offices and they just go and get software through them. This is really big in the tax software industry. Start your own tax office. If you got your own EFIN, you can go work underneath anybody else and they will let you call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. You can call yourself Jessica's Tax Services. You can make up your own name, anything you want. But unless you bring your own EFIN number, you are using one of theirs. And in an essence, you are a contractor under their company. So for instance, if you go sign up with someone to work and they say, hey, you can have your own tax office, your own clientele, you can call yourself whatever you want, do your own marketing, put out your own business cards, or some of them will even give you marketing material. Unless you have your own EFIN, at the end of the day, as far as the IRS is concerned and the returns that are transmitted, they're not transmitted to your office and under your name. They're transmitted to whoever that EFIN belongs to. So yes, your name might be on the bottom of the tax return with your PTIN because you're the one who prepared it. Yes, your business cards and your website and all of that will say whatever your tax office business name is. But when it comes down to what the name the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, sees when that return is transmitted to them, it is whomever the EFIN holder's name is. And that goes the same for bank products. When you're being paid off your tax returns, that goes the same thing for that. A lot of people are working underneath other people's EFINs, but they're working underneath them as an employee, and that goes for people who are working for traditional tax franchises like H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, some of the big brand names, the brand name companies. Normally they hire you on as an employee, pay you hourly wage with a commission, and you work under their EFIN as an employee. A lot of other people have you come work under their EFIN as an independent contractor, meaning, hey, we will allow you to work under our company, call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, but you are an independent contractor using our EFIN, which is very common in the industry. Or you can come under them working as a franchisee, meaning, hey, you use our name, but we're just going to make you a sister company of us. So for instance, if you were working under Right Way Tax as a franchisee and you live in Dallas or you live whatever, you would be Right Way Tax Dallas location. But at the end of the day, you would be our franchisee. And of course, if anybody's familiar with what franchisees are, they have, their royalty fees, their splits. So a common thing to know if you're probably not working under your own EFIN or you don't have your own EFIN is, I'm just going to skip over that, is fee splits. So if you're currently in an agreement and you're preparing taxes and you have things like 60-40 splits, 80-20 split, 80-20 splits, 70-30 splits, then it is a 99.9% chance that you do not have your own EFIN. Or if you do have your own EFIN, meaning you have your own EFIN, you have that e-services letter that IRS sent you with your EFIN number, and you are getting splits like that, then yeah, you might want to reassess whatever business arrangement you're in, because when you have your EFIN, it's your way. You're not subject to splits. You're not subject to, hey, I'll keep 80 and the company I'm working with gets 20, or I'll keep 60 and they'll get 40. You don't have splits. If you want 100% of your prep fee, 100% of your prep fee is yours, unless you're contracting out people. So that's the first sign if you possibly do not have your own EFIN. Another sign that you know, because a lot of people tell you, oh yeah, you got your own EFIN, or they'll give you one of their EFINs to use. But if there's any type of like splits, big, huge percentage splits like that, then 9 out of 10, you're using one of their EFINs. Another thing to be aware of, whether or not you're working and technically have your own EFIN, is if the bank products, meaning if someone is, when it comes down to being paid your preparation fees, if someone is dispersing that to you other than the actual banks themselves, then meaning if someone's cutting you checks and paying you out your fees in checks or cash, and it's not being specifically direct deposited from banks like Refund Advantage, Republic, Refundo, the different tax banks, then there is a possibility that you are not working underneath your own EFIN. And some people will, oh yeah, I see Refund Advantage does deposit, or whatever bank you're using, they do deposit directly into my account for taxes. That still might not mean you have your own EFIN. It just means that the person you're working with is just they're giving you that ability to, whereas they can set, the EFIN holder can set it up to where funds are directly deposited into your account, or they can also make it to where your tax preparation fees are funneled through them and then they pay you directly. So your EFIN your way, whomever holds the EFIN holds the keys to everything. Now, I know that it's like a huge, big global thing to say, but in all honesty, it's true. Whomever is the EFIN holding, at the end of the day, they call the shots. Now, how they choose to call the shots is completely up to who you are working with. You have a lot of people who allow you to subcontract or franchise underneath their EFINs, and they have really good business models and programs to help you flourish as a tax preparer. But you also have a lot of people in the industry who you come and work under them as subcontractors or franchisees. And hey, is there a way or the highway? Is there splits or no splits? And you're subject to whatever limitations that they give you. So if they decide to, hey, not pay your preparation fees, legally, I mean, you can legally fight it, but you would have a hard time, being able to do that. If they just decide they want to pull the plug on your whole entire tax business in the middle of tax season and to say that, hey, we don't want to work with you anymore, they can do that because they are the EFIN holder. So they control the entire transmission of returns. So at any moment, they can pull the plug, they can stop the cash flow, they can, you know, it's subject to that relationship. Now, I do want to clarify this because I don't want to scare people away from that. And I want to be very clear and transparent about what I'm saying. This is not every EFIN holder and how they operate. You have some really, really good EFIN holders who provide independent contracting services and franchisee services, and they are there to help you. They are there to coach you, to mentor you, to really educate you on the tax preparation industry. So that way, you know, if you do decide to eventually get your own EFIN, you already know, you know, all the things that come along with it and how to manage your own EFIN. So I'm just telling you both the pros and cons of it. The pros is working under somebody else's is great if you're working with a great team. The cons of that is you are highly vulnerable. You are highly vulnerable to predatory fees and just having your entire tax operation subject to the whims of someone else. Choosing your own bank products and software is another benefit of having your own EFIN. A lot of people get into the tax preparation industry without their own EFINs because of software. They need to prepare taxes, they need software, and they want to get into the business. So they sign up with software providers who then not only provides them software, but also provides them access to an EFIN. But as an EFIN holder, you're able to go and choose any software company that you would like to work with. You can choose any bank product that you want to work with, and you go and apply for these things yourself. And you're just not necessarily being handed exactly what someone might, you know, already be saying, okay, you have to use through them. Next week on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about how to pick tax software and bank products. And that is for somebody, that conversation is really geared towards someone who has their own EFIN and or those who are contracting or franchising under someone's EFIN who has allowed them to, you know, be free-spirited and choose the software they want to use and the bank products they want to use. So a lot of good EFIN holders will allow you to do that. But we will be talking in depth about that. Now, when it comes down to those of you who do have your own EFIN, what I do want to say is make sure you assume full liability as the EFIN holder. So be mindful of not compromising it. As an EFIN holder, you have the ability to do so much. You have the ability to be able to create employees, to create subcontractors, to create baby franchisees. However, you also have the ability to assume all the liability for whatever those employees, contractors, or baby franchisees do. So with that being said, be careful with your EFINs. You know, take care of them. They are easy to get, but even easier to get compromised, even easier to get misused and abused, because a lot of people are not able to get EFINs because of criminal histories or for just different things or reasons that is limiting from being able to get their own EFINs. So if you are EFIN holder, I encourage you to really do your due diligence about who you may be issuing it to or allowing to use it, and also making sure you put certain things in place, such as BOP insurance, bonds, and airtight contract agreements for people who may be in use of your EFIN, so that way you have different things to protect you, you know, while you're using it. If you want some more information in regards to that, feel free to email me, and I'll be happy to discuss, you know, and consult with you on how to be able to protect your EFIN. I might even do a tax talk Tuesday about that, but not for sure yet, but you're welcome to offline with it. Again, these are our different webinar topics that are here every week. And like I said, next week is how to pick tax software and bank products. We'll be going through the pros and the cons. And I actually have a pre-recorded video for that, so I'll be uploading that. And I'll also go live for a few minutes in case you have any questions. How to pick the perfect tax software and bank products. If you want to register, because after this presentation, you'll get this presentation emailed you. If you want to register for our next webinar, you click this link to register. It'll be at the same time for next week to register for this webinar that's coming up next week on 10/15. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so are you ready to get your own EFIN? A lot of people, like I said, think that getting an EFIN is hard, it costs money. No. So basically, there's two options for you to get your EFIN. You can do it yourself, and you can do it yourself by going online and applying for your EFIN on irs.gov. But as I mentioned, certain criminal offenses are ineligible for an EFIN, but you still may have other options available to you if that does happen and you get disbarred. In addition, the e-services application, I will tell you this. Yes, it's easy to get an EFIN, but that application is not that very easy. So when you go online to apply to get your own EFIN, it's not it's a little hard, the application. It's a little confusing, it's a little tricky. So I encourage you to read through it because unfortunately, one error or one incorrect thing being wrong on the application, it could really delay you getting your EFIN. I mean, it could take a while. Average turnaround time for EFINs is anywhere between 3 to 6 months. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. I haven't seen them come back in less than 3 months, but you might have a miracle person that say, oh, I got mine in 30 days. Great, good for you. I ain't seen it happen personally, but if you got your 30 days, lucky you. On average, it takes about 3 months. However, around this time of year, I'm gonna be honest with you again. If you haven't applied for an EFIN yet, and you wanna go do one right now, it will not be back in time for tax season 2020. I mean, it just won't. Some people might be like, oh, yes, it will. I mean, I still encourage you to apply, but if you haven't got one yet, then and you want to prepare taxes for next tax season, then your best bet is to work with another company and work with them, either as an employee or an independent contractor, because trying to apply for one now, there's going to be some serious delay times. They're trying to roll out new software, new features. The IRS has their little baby shutdowns every year. You know how they do. So apply for it now, but do not expect it to come back and be ready in time for tax season 2020. Secondly, you can do it yourself, or of course, we are here at Right Way to always help you do it yourself, to be able to apply for your EFIN. Oh, wait a minute, going back. So let us help you. In other words, we offer EFIN setup services. I personally offer EFIN setup services where we as a company help you set up your own EFIN. So you can be able to, really and officially have your own tax office. You're not working underneath somebody. You're not an independent contractor. You're not an employee. You're not a franchise. You are your own EFIN holder, and then you yourself can in turn, go get your employees and get your own independent contractors. Some of you are already doing it without EFIN, but hey, whatever floats your boat. But you can officially do that and have complete autonomous control over your employees and your contractors and your franchisees without being codependent on another third-party entity. Our services provide you step-by-step instructions on how to do it. It's not really step-by-step instructions. We do it step-by-step, not just for you, but with you. So in the event that you need to go and reciprocate and duplicate the process to someone else, you have those skills to be able to know how to create your own EFINs and set up your own EFINs. So we actually set up your EFIN with you hand in hand to be able to help you do that. We help you with your e-services application. We set you up with your fingerprinting. We set you up with your software and your bank products. We also offer you coaching and mentorship. So when you do get your EFIN, you receive your letter in the mail and it says your name and your EFIN number, it's like, yeah, what do I do next? So we also assist you with the next steps as far as coaching you and mentoring you through the entire, now you have your own tax office process. If you would like to book your EFIN setup appointment today, of course, it's not a free service. It's not like the webinar. It's not a free service. There is a cost associated with it. But if you would like to get started with that process, so that way it'll be here probably around March of next year, maybe February, if you want to start today. And then, of course, you'll already be ready for the new tax season. Then you can go online to taxrightway.com, or you can click the link here on the presentation once it's emailed to you to book your EFIN setup appointment, and we will be happy to help and assist you to do that. And lastly, Let's go to the next one. We also offer tax preparation classes. So for those of you who, hey, some people don't want EFINs. I get that. Maybe because, not necessarily because you can't get one, but some people don't want the liability. Some people do not want, they just, hey, I just want to make me some extra income, prepare me some taxes. I don't want all that. So I respect that. So if you just want to step up your tax game and learn how to do taxes on a more advanced or intermediate or advanced level, then we definitely have tax classes and courses available for you in person or online. So I'm so happy about the online. So that means we're able to teach taxes to anyone, anywhere, at any time. Wait, let me take that anytime, because don't be scheduling no 10 o'clock p.m. late night hour tax class. I wouldn't be able to accommodate that. But we're able, no matter what city and state you are in, we will be able to accommodate you. I also encourage you to stop what you're doing and follow us on Instagram at Right Way Tax. Follow us on Instagram at Right Way Tax. That is RIGHTWAY Tax. You can also send me an email with any questions or concerns, or just general, if you need to just discuss some things that we weren't able to hit in the webinar. You can email me at akila@taxrightway.com. You can also visit our website and set up your appointments, your EFIN setup appointments. You can register for our tax classes. You can just register for a general. I always do free consultations. So if you just need 30 minutes of my time to kind of, create a strategy and plan of like where you want to go in your current business. I love reviewing contracts. So if you're currently in a franchise agreement, or you're an independent contractor and you need a second opinion, or you're thinking about signing up to work as an independent contractor or franchisee, and you need a free consult on reviewing those contracts, and if there ain't no contract, then you might want to assist that. But if you do have a contract, then you can book one of our 30-minute consultations as well. We'll be happy to review it for you. So yes, follow us on Instagram at Right Way Tax. Sign up for a tax class or sign up for our EFIN setup classes. Feel free to share the PowerPoint and presentation, because it will be available to you. And that concludes our EFIN webinar. And remember, your EFIN, your way. When you have your own EFIN, you have your own tax office. So yeah, hope that helps. You guys have a happy Tuesday, and see you next week when we're talking about tax software and bank products.